Hello students, in our previous lecture we discussed some beginning part of the types of communication. Today we are going to discuss the next and the remaining part of this topic, types of communication. So let us begin with the very first type of communication which we are going to discuss today, that is upward communication. If the managers have to transmit information down the line of authority, they have also to receive information continuously emanating from levels below. If the managers of any company or organization, they have to send or convey information to the downline of the authorities, they also collect or they also receive information continuously from, that is coming from levels below them, that is coming from the authorities or the employees below them. The communication channel which pushes the flow of information upward is known as the upward channel of communication. So the channel which pushes or which conveys information upward is known as the upward channel of communication. Managers have only recently come to recognize the importance of upward communication. In present times, managers, they have recently recognized the importance of upward communication. So, upward communication moves from the subordinate staff to the superiors. There are some points which show the importance of upward communication. The very first point is that it provides feedback to the superiors. Second, it releases the pent up emotions of the subordinate staff. Pent up emotions that are not expressed or that are kept inside or held inside. So it releases the hidden emotions of the subordinate staff. It provides the superiors with useful suggestions. Next is, it makes the introduction of new schemes easier. And the last is, promotes harmony. It maintains harmony, a harmonious relationship among the employees or the authorities of any organization or company. Next, there are the channels through which the upward communication takes place. The very first is, superiors keep an open door. Next is, complaints and suggestions boxes. Next is, social gatherings, direct correspondence, reports, counseling. So all these channels are present. So through all these channels, the upward communication takes place. Next, there are some limitations of upward communication. Employees are reluctant to express themselves. Reluctant means they are unwilling to express themselves. Next is, employees fear that their criticism may be interpreted as a sign of their personal weakness. Employees fear that their criticism may be interpreted as a sign of their personal weakness. Next is, great possibility of distortion. Next is, bypassed superiors feel insulted. So uh, all these limitations come into the way of upward communication. Next is, what can be done to make upward communication effective? The very first point is, superiors should take initiative to get close to the subordinate staff. Next is, keeping the line of communication short. And the third is, prompt redressal of legitimate grievances. Prompt redressal means solution of legitimate grievances. Grievances means complaints, means the complaints of the employees should be solved immediately. So this is the upward communication, its importance, channels, limitations, and the points to make it effective. Next type of communication is mass communication. Mass communication is distinctive in view of its scale. It addresses a large mass of people. Mass means group. So this type of communication is used to address a large group of people. Public speaking, newspapers, magazines and journals, radio, television, and dot coms are channels of mass communication. So through all these channels, mass communication can take place. Mass communication has developed into a specialized area of study. Each of these areas or channels calls for distinct skills. By its very nature, mass communication addresses a vast, well spread out, and heterogeneous group of people, and as such, communication, and as such, special efforts will have to be made to sustain their interest and achieve the desired response. So, by its very nature, this mass communication, it addresses a vast, well spread out, and heterogeneous group of people, and as such, special efforts will have to be made to sustain their interest and achieve the desired response from those people in that group. At the government level, too, there is often a separate ministry or department of mass communication to deal with the functional area. Main branches of study relating mass communication are public relations, advertising and publicity, journalism, and digital media. So, these branches of study also use the mass communication to communicate with the group of people. So, next is horizontal communication. Communication between departments or people on the same level in the managerial hierarchy of an organization may be termed as horizontal or lateral communication. So, the communication between departments or people on the same level of any organization, that is called horizontal or lateral communication. It is the most frequently used channel of communication. Workers communicating with other workers, clerks exchanging information with one another, supervisors holding a coffee break session to discuss some organizational problems are all engaged in horizontal communication. So, the workers communicating with other workers, clerks exchanging their information with another clerks, supervisors uh, uh, when they hold a coffee break session to discuss the problems related with organization or company are all engaged in horizontal communication. Horizontal communication flows between people at the same level. Horizontal communication, it takes place between people at the same level. Next is, it is important for promoting understanding and coordination among various people or departments. So, uh, next there are the channels through which it is carried on. First is face to face discussion, second is telephonic talk, next is periodical meetings, and the last one is memos. So, this is horizontal communication. Next is grapevine communication. Professor Keith Davis, who has done some research on the nature of grapevine or the informal channel of communication, classifies it into four basic types: single strand, gossip, probability, and cluster. So there are four basic types of grapevine communication. First one is single strand, second is through gossip, third is probability, and the fourth one is cluster. The single strand chain involves the passing of information through a long line of persons to the ultimate recipient. In the single strand chain, the information passes through a long line of persons to the ultimate recipient. A tells B, B tells to C, and the C tells D, and so on, till the information has reached most of the persons concerned. In the gossip chain, A actively seeks and tells everyone. This chain is just like the wheel where A is at the center and the information passes along the speakers of the wheel to others stationed on the rim. Grapevine is an informal channel of communication, primarily a channel of horizontal communication. It can flow even vertically and diagonally. There are four types of grapevine communication. The very first type is single strands, flows like a chain. Second is gossip. One person tells everyone or everybody else. Third is probability, random. Information may move from anybody to anybody. And the last one is cluster, moves through selected groups. Cluster moves through selected groups. Next, there is importance of grapevine communication. Emotional relief. Second is harmony and cohesiveness in the organization. Next is supplement to other channels. A fast channel provides feedback. Next, there are the demerits or limitations of grapevine communication. It distorts the information. Second, it may transmit or convey incomplete information. Next is, it travels with destructive swiftness or with fast pace or with fast speed. Next, there are some points which can make grapevine communication effective. So, to use effectively, the manager should keep an eye on the rumor mongers. They should use it primarily for feedback, contradict rumors promptly, and the last one is involve the workers in the decision making process. So all these ideas should be kept in mind by the managers to make the grapevine communication effective. So we have completed our topic of types of communication, and today we have discussed upward communication, mass or group communication means. Next is horizontal communication, and the last but not least is the grapevine communication. So students, today we have covered this topic of types of communication. Try to learn all these types of communication. So tomorrow we will continue with our next lecture. Thank you very much.